My father banned me from family gatherings because I don't have a real job like my doctor sister and engineer brother, but he has no idea I make twice their salaries. Dad stopped inviting me to Thanksgiving when I quit my bank job to work online. Said I wasn't welcome at family events until I had a respectable career like my siblings. My sister Rachel is a pediatrician. My brother Timothy is a civil engineer. I do digital marketing from my laptop. To Dad, that means I'm unemployed. He actually used the word embarrassment when explaining why I couldn't come to Christmas dinner last year. But what Dad doesn't know is that I run 3 successful online businesses. Started with freelance copywriting 5 years ago, built it into an agency with 12 contractors, then launched a course teaching email marketing that brings in $15,000 a month passive income. Last year, I invested in 2 software companies as a silent partner. My accountant jokes that I need more tax shelters. Rachel makes maybe $90,000 a year after her student loans. Timothy brings in $70 working for the state. I cleared $380,000 last year, but they get invited to Dad's birthday parties, and I get forgotten. They sit at the family table every holiday while I order takeout alone. Dad posts photos on social media praising his successful children, always just the 2 of them. Comments about how proud he is of raising professionals, how his parenting created doctors and engineers. Never mentions his 3rd kid, the one who sits at home in pajamas, making more in a month than he made in his best year. I kept thinking he'd eventually ask what I was doing, show some curiosity about my life. Instead, he'd call occasionally to tell me about job openings he'd heard about, entry-level positions at banks, administrative assistant roles, and even retail management. Just until you figure things out, he'd say, like I was lost instead of thriving. My mom knew something was off when I bought a house with cash. Not a mansion, just a nice 4-bedroom in a good neighborhood. She asked how I afforded it. I told her my online work was going well. She said that was nice and changed the subject. Nobody in my family has ever asked for details about what I actually do. Then last month, everything exploded. Dad called me on a Wednesday afternoon, which was weird because he never calls during his work hours. His voice sounded panicked. He'd been laid off from his regional manager position after 28 years with the company. They gave him 2 weeks severance and canceled his pension contributions. He was 61, too young for Social Security, too old to easily find another management role. He needed help. Specifically, he needed someone who understood online business because that was where all the opportunities were now. Could I teach him what I knew about making money on the internet? Maybe help him set something up? He'd been researching and realized there was real money in digital work. You must know something about it since you're getting by, he said. Getting by, that's what he thought I was doing. Scraping together enough for rent and ramen, while I actually had more in savings than he'd accumulated in 3 decades. I told him I'd think about it and call him back. Instead, I called Rachel, mentioned Dad had reached out for help with an online business. She laughed and said he must be desperate to ask me. He's been telling everyone at the club that you're taking a gap year to find yourself, she said. At 32? I asked. He says you're a late bloomer. She actually thought this was funny. Timothy was even worse when I called him. Maybe this will motivate you to get serious about a career, he said. Dad seeing you struggle might be the wake-up call he needs to stop enabling you. Enabling me. They thought Dad was supporting me financially this whole time. I drove to Dad's house that evening without calling ahead. He answered the door in his pajamas at 4 in the afternoon, already looking defeated. I told him I could definitely help him make money online. His face lit up for the first time. Then I told him my consulting rate. $400 an hour, minimum 10 hours to get started. He laughed and said, family doesn't charge family. We're family? I asked. Then where was my invitation to Easter dinner? To Rachel's engagement party? To Timothy's graduation celebration? He said those were for immediate family who'd made something of themselves. I made $380,000 last year, I said. What did you make? He stood there staring at me. I pulled up my tax returns on my phone, showed him the numbers. His face went red, then white, then red again. Started stammering about how I should have told him, how he would have included me if he'd known. You only want successful children at your table, I said. I've been successful for 5 years. You just never bothered to ask. Then, while driving, my siblings started to call me like crazy. Full story on channel, link below.